You are taking a live look at Tel Aviv this morning after the United States and Israel launched attacks on Iran earlier this morning. Israeli officials told ABC News this strike was, quote, to remove threats to the state of Israel, end quote. And you are taking a live look now at Iran's capital city of Tehran this morning. You can see huge plumes of smoke rising across the city after the early morning missile strikes. Now, it is our top story here at 9 o'clock. I'm Gabriel Gonzalez. We have followed the situation all morning long. Earlier today, President Trump announced major combat operations in Iran, calling it Operation Epic Fury. In a post on his Truth Social account this morning, he also said, quote, courageous American heroes may be lost, end quote. ABC's Michelle Franzen has the latest.
The strikes by Israel and the U.S. hitting targets in Tehran during the morning. Video showing large plumes of smoke billowing against the blue skies with Iranians seemingly caught off guard. President Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida making the announcement to Americans and the world.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
Earlier, Israeli officials called the strikes preemptive and issued a state of emergency, telling Israelis to be on alert due to drone and missile attacks that were sure to follow by Iran. ABC's Ian Pannell in Tel Aviv when alerts went out on Israel's app warning people to take shelter.
There was a launch in the direction of Israel. It wasn't clear which city it was aimed at, and then literally just about a minute or so ago, the haunting sound of the air raid sirens rang out.
The U.S. has spent the last few weeks building up military resources in the Middle East, sending ships, including strike carriers, destroyers, along with fighter jets, positioned throughout the region. President Trump, in his address, called Iran the top sponsor of terror and called for regime change after nearly 5 decades, saying Iran will not be allowed to develop nuclear weapons. The president also issuing a sober warning that there could be American casualties. Iran launched retaliatory strikes in the region with the U.S. Embassy in Bahrain, warning a U.S. Navy command center was targeted and Americans in Qatar told to shelter in place due to incoming missiles. President Trump, who campaigned on the pledge not to start any new wars, has now launched what could be a long campaign. Democrats were already planning to force a vote next week on a bipartisan resolution aimed at limiting the president's war powers. The resolution now taking on new urgency. Michelle Franzen, ABC News, New York.
And we have checked social media accounts of Kentucky elected officials. So far, only Congressman Thomas Massie has posted. He wrote on X, quote, I am opposed to this war. This is not America first. When Congress reconvenes, I will work with Representative Ro Khanna to force a congressional vote on war with Iran. The Constitution requires a vote, and your representative needs to be on record as opposing or supporting this war, end quote. This situation is developing, and we will continue to check in throughout the morning. All right, well, let's get to Mr. Reed Yaden, who is on the road this morning. Reed, you are live out at a bicycle shop in Middletown. A great day to get out there and get some exercise. Good morning, man.
Indeed. Good morning again, Gabe. Always good to be with you. Good morning to all of you. We are indeed on the road. As Gabe said, in Middletown, rolled in on Big O Tires this morning. We rolled up here to Schellers Fitness and Cycling. This is Jesse Robertson,
hello,
the manager here,
yeah.
And we're going to be talking e-bikes.
Lots of e-bikes.
Lots of people want to know, but I mean, you know, this is biking season now. Today is really going to send it into high gear. I wish we could keep this day, but that's going to change.
Yeah.
But we got today. Roll on in, get your e-bike questions out of the way, buy a bike if you want. You can even rent them here if you want to try one.
Yeah, we'll get set up.
Oh, love it. Okay, let's go right to the forecast now. We're looking at a day that's going to see temperatures well into the middle 60s. I'll take that. Plenty of sunshine. Oh, bright sunshine out there now. Heading into the 40s this morning. Maybe with a weak front tonight, we could pick up a brief shower. Didn't want to make a big deal out of that. Could linger into tomorrow morning. Again, not a big deal. Later in the hour, we'll time it out with for you on Futurecast. 50 degrees tomorrow. Why is it colder tomorrow, Reed? Well, got a weak cold front coming through. We'll see 67 today, 50 tomorrow. Still not a bad day, but you have more clouds than sun tomorrow. But for today, think spring, a big dose of spring weather. Now you know why I like Florida in the winter. I'd take this all any day.
I'd take it too.
Now, so we've got a big selection of e-bikes. We're going to answer your question, give you different models. We can just sample them for you, talk prices, the whole bit. That's coming up this hour. Of course, we'll be staying on top of the news. Big news coming out of Iran and the Middle East. How many times have we seen big news break on Saturday? Many, many times. Okay, Gabe, back to you to bring us up to date on the story that we are continuing to follow this morning.
Some days, though, I'm convinced the deficit has its own seat at the table. It shows up early and it stays late.
On Friday, JCPS Superintendent Brian Yearwood gave hints about more potential job cuts coming to the district. WHAS caught up with Yearwood at his first State of the District address. You'll remember weeks ago, the JCPS board also approved the turnaround plan, which means hundreds of layoffs. Our Ian Hardwood asked Yearwood if there will be any more cuts.
I would love to say that we're done with job cuts. However, we have to make sure that our budget deficit is handled. We're still negotiating about $30 million.
We talked with WHAS 11's longtime education expert, Sam Corbett. He was at the address talking with JCPS staff. WHAS 11's Doug Profit asked Corbett if those people he talked with are on the target list and what their salary range currently is.
Many of them are in the $200,000 range, which is the highest level other than the superintendent's salary. And they were telling me that their position is being changed, it's being eliminated, and that they're going to have to reapply for maybe the same position, but in some cases a different position that could be at a different pay scale.
Earlier this month, the JCPS board voted on a plan to help close that deficit. And the plan eliminated 648 positions, reducing 32 and then adding 273. Last month, they voted to close King and Zachary Taylor Elementary at the end of the school year. Liberty High School will relocate to the Gins Early Childhood Center, and more organizational changes will be presented to the board next month. 5 people, including 1 minor, are facing murder charges after police say suspects fired nearly 60 gunshots in an ambush-style attack. These are the suspects: Keasia Tyson, Chance Guthrie, Davion Birdsong, and Demontre Rocks. All were arrested on Wednesday. The shooting happened on February 2nd outside of Club 7 in Shively. 26-year-old Rodney Parker died in that attack. Now, we showed you this video earlier this week. Now we know this is how police were able to arrest some of those suspects. It happened on I-65 approaching downtown Louisville nearly 2 weeks after that shooting in early February. Officers used what's called a grappler to stop a stolen car and then chased those suspects on foot. Police say they recovered 14 guns, including a Glock switch. 2 of the suspects, Demontre Rocks and Chance Guthrie, had previously spent time in the juvenile justice system. All 5 suspects are charged with complicity to murder, assault second degree, and wanton endangerment. Guthrie is also charged for possession of a gun by a convicted felon.